What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show. And I have Cyrus with me today.
What up?
Tell us a little bit about yourself. See you YouTube, huh? No. Hey, Ted already says, I really enjoyed your video comparing 2600 television and Atari computer games. Pretty interesting.
Was it? For me, I liked it, but you know.
Oh, man.
Thanks.
So how is everybody doing? I can't believe this is our 12th show. We've done a dozen.
Let's go around the room and check and see how everyone's doing.
How's everybody doing? Rab, how you been? Very good. Nick, how you been doing? Well, really good. That's awesome. Panda, I see he must be in space. It's all right. It's all right. What's up, Relic? How you doing, man?
What up, Relic?
Luke Skywalker says, that the guy who used to do YouTube? Maybe.
I have a complicated history.
It's a complicated thing. It really is. Doug said I'm drinking wine.
Oh,
it's cool when you compare different versions on different consoles of games on different consoles.
Thank you.
How about like Demon Attack for Intellivision versus Demon Attack for Atari 2600? Two completely different games.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let me get my pen.
Yeah, you won't. If you want to just take that down, use it for any time you need to. What's up, Christopher? Just jot that one down. It's a good point there.
You'll get credit in the description. Don't worry.
It's like the first thing people say when they talk about that. It's like to bring that up. Those are like two different games. Well, of course they're two different games.
But wait a minute. There's Demon Attack on the television. There's Demon Attack on Atari, and then there's actual Demon Attacks.
You're having Demon Attacks. You might need an exorcist.
Let's compare the three. Okay.
Whoa, no, there's an 800 version.
Oh,
Atari 8. I wonder what that's.
Yeah. I'm sure there is everything. The dang Atari computer, man. There's so much on there. It's crazy.
How about Night Stalker for the Aquarius and Night Stalker for Intellivision? Now I saw TJ on his channel did an Astro Smash for the Aquarius computer, which you would think would be a higher end version. And it was a lower end version than the Intellivision.
Yeah, I don't think the Aquarius is as good as the Intellivision. I think it's like
that's weird, man.
You would think it would be more advanced, but it's not. It's interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if I wonder now. There's a Atari XE version of Demon Attack as well. Mind blown. Yes.
I don't know. I do not know.
I really I didn't know there's so many versions of Demon Attack and regular Demon Attacks.
Yeah. There's many versions of that. I've seen The Exorcist. There's like a new movie every year comes out about some little girl possessed by demons. You got to compare all of them to the Atari and Intellivision version. See which one's the best. I don't know.
Scallywag says, what's up, by the way? It's a computer from the 70s, released in the 80s. Speaking of computer, the Intellivision was going to be a computer component. And basically, because remember those first early things, it came with a computer keyboard. And speaking of computers and keyboards, whoa!
What? It's Nick.
What's happening, sir?
What?
I had to go make a drink.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, I should have done that. Well, I got plenty of water. Aqua.
Okay.
The Aquarius suffers from non-programmable characters. You can only have a fixed 256 character sprite set to use for everything. That's exactly what I was going to say. No, no, but so that just must mean it can't handle as much going on in like a game like Astro Smash and what's everything on the screen at the same time, I'm guessing. Yeah. Oh, here we go. There was a Demon Attack on the Commodore 62. Man, why can't I talk? Commodore 64 too.
I was like, I've never heard of the Commodore 62. What's that? Is that like the one that
it came out just but like 2 years before the 64.
It was like a month, maybe less than the 64.
This
you
implies
really wanted to wait for the 64.
Yeah, this implies there were 64 Commodores. Like, holy crap.
There were 63 attempts, 62 almost took.
I see.
Oh, people
64 was the magic number.
This is like that movie Leonard Number 5. You ever see that with Bill Cosby?
Wait, I do remember that movie. I'd have to go back and look.
It's like it's a stupid like 80s superhero quote unquote movie or something. or spy movie or something like that. Anyway, the joke is that there were 4 previous movies that the public never got to see because they were top secret. So Leonard number 5 was the first one that the public was allowed to watch. It was a goofy ass movie, dude. It was funny.
The Pong Show, Benny's saying that aside those horse racing challenge was epic. Boy, that I cannot wait for the next one because that is just the biggest thing on the internet right now is the side horse racing.
Dude, that got under a bunch of people's skin. What happened? I don't understand.
It got under people's skin. I don't know about that. I don't know what the conversations have been. I have heard that some people had talked about it, but I didn't realize it was bothering people. I know. Well, Carl, he got upset, but that's because he lives in an area where they predominantly do like horse racing. So
he's in Kentucky, where the Kentucky Derby happens. So he has strong opinions on it. Obviously,
I didn't want to dox him. You know, I didn't want
to. Demon Attack.
I don't like saying the state is doxing, but.
So listen to this. Demon Attack, Atari 2600, Odyssey 2, Intellivision, the TI-99 Atari 8-bit, Commodore 64, TRS 80, and then it'll be coming for Amico. Will be the 7th Demon Attack.
The demons will not stop.
Of all the demons keep attacking. Apparently they do.
It's like
they got beef with our universe. I don't know what to say.
It's like in the movies. They don't stop. They just keep coming back, sequel after sequel, and you can't kill Freddy no matter what they said.
Yeah, Freddy's dead. Jason's dead. The final chapter. It never really is.
Yeah.
Patrick says, speaking to someone who doesn't have an Intellivision, any update, Geeks with Cash?
No update. I have been busy trying to do content, trying to deal with holidays, trying to do Christmas lights, and dealing with unexpected things family related.
When you say trying to do Christmas lights, what does that mean?
That means I was wanting to just hire somebody to do it this year because I'm like, we'll do it way nicer. Every time I do it, it looks like garbage. I get it done, but it looks like garbage. And then they started quoting me prices, and I'm like, no.
But you're Geeks with Cash.
Yeah. $1,000 for lights is insanity.
Then you would be Geeks without cash.
Yes, I would be Geeks with no cash at that point. Right. So I'm getting all the hooks that we have for the lights reset up so I can get things hung. By the time I finish with work around here, it's almost dark, so I have very little time to work. It gets dark here at 4:30 now.
That's not right.
So by the time I finish working for the day, I have like 30 minutes to do something.
Well, it's not like at dark you stop existing.
No. But it's very hard to hang outdoor lights.
You're like a reverse vampire. Yeah, the sun is setting.
A
little bit, yeah. I don't even like driving at night anymore. But what's happening? To be fair, it's hard to hang Christmas lights in the dark because I can't see where I'm hooking them and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's a good point. But they are the lights. If you turn the lights on, no, never mind.
Well, I mean, even if I have the lights on, I've got to get them really close to it to be able to see anything. It's just easier to do it during daylight.
That's true.
I hung mine early. Like it was like before Thanksgiving, and I'm out there putting them up, and people are looking at me. I'm like, yeah, don't be looking because you're going to be up there in that freezing cold when it turns to crap. And yep, they were. They're like,
honestly, it's not been that cold around here, so doing that part of it's not that bad.
It hasn't been too bad here. We got a little bit of snow, and it got super cold, and then that lasted for like 3 days, and everything melted away, and it's been like in the mid 30s ever since. It hasn't been too bad.
It's going to be 80 degrees here tomorrow. Like what?
Yeah, and it probably doesn't get dark there until like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. Here, it's like, oh, look, it's 4 o'clock. Why is it dark?
Well, Nick, I'm still on Earth, okay? Like,
well, we're not all in space like Panda. I mean, it's not like I'm in space, dude.
He goes to Texas, and all of a sudden, the laws of gravity and time change.
You guys walk like upright, or
you're just like too close to the equator, man. You need to get away from that shit. It's bad for you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bring this up really quick about this because I know a lot of people actually contacted me, and I I don't get into Atari Age too much, but oh my God, the Pat and Ians of the world and the Riches of the world, you know, you think they'd have something better to do than to talk about little old us, but boy, we are all over it. Their channels right now. And so is they keep saying how crazy we are, but whatever. The Atari Age forum closed, and I am going to pull this up, and I'm sorry I won't be able to get all the chat while I'm showing this, but I'll try to be brief. Let me see if I can find it. There is a reason. I think it's this one. So if you haven't yet, join the Intellivision Amico Club on Facebook. And let me see if I can get this so I can read it. So it says, friends from Atari Age, just want to let you know, Albert and I were planning on shutting down the Amico Fun Conversations thread months ago when the forum was moved to new consoles from the original Intellivision area. But he decided to keep it open while Intellivision and friends started building up this group, moving interested folks over there. My original thread was getting too big and massive. It had about 1.5 million views. When Albert finally did close it, that's pretty awesome, you know. Now it was only getting too big, but they were making separate threads, which totally makes sense. The blah, 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 blah. Anyways, it was also attracting a lot of drama, a lot of trolls, a lot of phony concern trollers. So it wasn't a fair to Atari Age and the mods who constantly had to monitor the place because of drama and all the jerks. So Albert ended up shutting it down. And they'll most likely start a new area section when the Amico comes out. So that was context to anyone that came from Atari Age to this group and noticed that
what?
The Amico
I haven't had enough to drink yet.
Was closed. I'm just drinking water. Was closed, so the Amico area is gone. So thanks, and let us know if you have any questions about my time on Atari Age. You'll gladly answer them. You can also hit up Intellivision.com for any frequently asked questions, and you can email their customer service or talk to them about any questions. But as far as that, enjoying the Intellivision Amico Club, if you were an Atari Age person and liked going in there. I didn't spend a lot of time on those forums. I'm not a big on like forums and stuff like that. I guess I kept trying to click on the actual, but I really don't know much, you know, I don't know, like to navigate those. I guess I'm stupid, but I barely check my Discord, let alone get in Atari Age. But I have got on there a few times, and it was fun. But as always, we get bashed, you know, and you know it's just a weird time that you know such just a devoted group that just likes something, a retro console and a retro reimagined console that just gets trashed by all these big YouTubers, you know. And I love how they're like, oh, that was hurting our feelings. They were making fun of us. Really, dude? Really? Anyways, moving on.
No comment.
Yeah, we'll just keep
The show would have been much better if geeks would bet on camera eating habits.
Oh man,
yeah. What are we eating tonight, Nick? What are we eating?
I think my wife is making gnocchi, so that should
Making
be
what?
Gnocchi?
I don't know what that is. I'm from
Man
Texas.
Machine, you're gonna have to hit me up. I have an idea.
Thing.
What?
Tasty, dude. Tasty.
What is it? Describe it.
It's pasta.
Oh, I've never heard.
Whoa, where did Man Machine?
Is that like them ramen noodles?
Is it ramen noodles?
No, it's not like them ramen noodles.
Well, you got ramen
Different.
noodles in Texas?
Yeah, we
So
got
how do
them.
your noodles cook? You cook them on the ceiling or upside down? Do you cook them dry and they boil themselves?
They just throw them on the street and they self-cook. It's that hot.
Everything we cook in a deep fryer or out on the barbecue pit. That's about it. But we take them ramen noodles sometimes. We mix it up with some of that sushis. You ever had them sushis?
The sushis?
Yeah. Yeah, we take.
You shouldn't eat them sushis. I heard they give you diabetes.
We get them sushis and we dip them in the wasabis.
Cyrus does
The
not
wasabis?
get it.
Yeah.
Oh, you fancy.
It's pretty good.
Dude, I actually like sushi. I always, because in my mind, and I think a lot of people, they think it's like, ew, you're just stuffing raw fish in your mouth, and that's not the case at all.
Whoa.
It is wrapped up. A lot of it is smoked, or it's been, it's prepared in a way. Anyways, it's just delicious, and I just love it.
Yiddish. Is this like a Yiddish thing? I don't know. I am vastly ignorant. I have said this before. I don't know.
Pog Show says, "Sai, you actually killed it with a commentary on the horse races."
Thank you, sir. Thank
I
you, sir.
came in at the end of it, and I When is the next one? You have one planned, right?
I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. I'm gonna let it breathe a little bit, and then I'm gonna do it really.
Let the heat come down. Like
there's a lot of apparently it was the talk of the town, and I don't really know why because I was just playing an old television game, but I thought it was fun. I want it to be kind of nice. So the next time I do it, I'm gonna fancy it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Right. I'm gonna clean up around and spray some nice smelly stuff, and we're gonna have a real good horse race.
Yeah, Smell-O-Vision is now a thing on YouTube, guys.
Yeah. And there'll be no horses. Smell-O-Vision, love that. There will be no horses harmed or ponies.
Well,
in this dog and pony show,
in the Intellivision game, you can whip the horses. Well, I do not condone that.
But they are not real horses, so you can just whip dogs.
Dude.
Jesus on them.
Dude.
Oh.
They're real enough.
You're going to hurt their feelings, man.
Yeah, who do you think you are, Chuck?
That's right.
Like a DJC steal your idea. Coming next week, the new horse racing show on the DJC channel. No, I'm kidding. No, I cannot. That is
no. That horse racing game's been around for 40 years. I
cannot steal it, sir.
I think that was one on the online service, actually, as well, if I recall.
Yeah, so anybody could have done this. I don't have any rights to Intellivision horses. And you know what? You know what?
Racing game. It was just showing a game.
You know what? I think if big decisions like this are going to happen, the horses should have a say. So, you're asking the wrong person. That's all I'm saying.
I whipped the crap out of it.
Why do I have a feeling that you're going to just have like clip art of the horse and you're going to be talking to the horse before you do the next showing? This is going to be a thing, isn't it?
I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of possibilities.
You can whip more than once. Trust me, I have whipped away. I have just whipped that horse till he literally stopped running fast.
Oh, this is going to be so clipped. This is not going to go well.
Normally,
go over really well in the right crowds, but
I have
too sober.
I have beaten a dead horse before.
Oh, I've done that in the Red Dead 2. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about go all out, put the horse down in the game, but it breaks a leg, bring on the controversy. But it's a robot horse, so it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, the horse that won it, like the horse that blew every other one away during.
They nudge it more than once.
The blue horse was the big horse during my stream. And there's no real blue horses, right? I mean, I hate to break this news to people.
What? Wait, there's no purple ones or magenta ones?
These colors are not natural.
They're not natural. It's alive.
You have broken my immersion, sir. Thank you very much.
I know we've all people were raised with the shows on Nickelodeon and whatnot, where the horses could talk and they were different colors, but that's not real. Now they
you're going to tell me Horseboat Jackman on Netflix is not a real horse that's like a human.
You didn't hear? If you notice, Mario punches Yoshi in Super Mario World. Video games aren't animals.
Yeah, Mario's actually he's gotten away with that. He really I don't know why, but for some reason he didn't get canceled. Of course
you wrote it on.
Mario has also just dropped Yoshi into bottomless pits to make a jump too. So I mean,
he's kind of
the real monster here.
Mario was trying to kill the Donkey Kong. I mean, Mario's throwing stuff down at Donkey Kong's kid, trying to kill him. Like, yeah, I mean,
he had little scissor animals that went down the.
This is what's wrong with Hollywood: is some people get a pass and some people don't. Right? We hold some of them get their feet held to the fire, except when Mario gets his feet held to the fire, he just screams "woo" and flies off.
That's right. He flies off to another location.
That's right, and everything's fine.
Everything's okay again,
and everyone acts like it never happened.
What if there be a horse steroid power up in the reimagined? I think it should be My Little Ponies racing.
Look, you do what you want to do with your ponies. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're bros, but we're not bronies. You know what I'm
No.
We could bring we have to bring on John. John's got a Care Bear outfit. I don't know if he'd wear a My Little Pony outfit.
I was gonna say, yeah, that was Care Bears.
Yeah.
If he does a My Little Pony, he has to keep that turquoise color like the Care Bear one.
So are they going to combine like Care Bears and My Little Pony and have the Care Bears like whipping the ponies so the ponies go faster? Because this is something I think the world never needs to see.
You know, I have a feeling, Nick, that kind of stuff is probably already available in some form.
Probably is. You're probably right.
Oh my god! So speaking of games, right? So what we didn't get to last week, I wanted to talk about was a lot of the space games. I'm going to just go like this and point. Now, a lot of the space games like Space Hawk, Space Armada, great game.
Ooh.
Space Battle and Star Strike.
Ooh.
We know they're going to be coming. I mean, they're not going to be at launch, or maybe, who knows, maybe they will be. But I know that they're being worked on. I mean, let's just, don't quote me, but I'm fairly sure. I remember in Pennsylvania, a rumor says, that I had my backdrop and I was talking to Tom and he was pointing to all the space games. Oh man, he goes, wait till you see, I don't know if that meant anything, but I that's why I always want to talk about this, because I really cannot wait to see what they do with a game like Star Strike, which I was just playing and terribly failing at the other day. But it was on the flashback. So
I got a question about Star Strike.
Yes.
So Star Strike was supposed to be a Star Wars game, right? But it didn't work out.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I know the space battle was supposed to be Battlestar Galactica. I literally was labeled it for it until it finally came out.
There's like a bunch of games that were supposed to be something and the licensing didn't work out. But
that would have been a badass Star Wars game. I liked it.
This is what my question is though. So if Star Strike it has certain elements in it that are sort of Star Warsy, and they do like a new version of Star Strike. Do you think these elements that are similar to Star Wars could cause any trouble with? I mean, the internet is going to be it's obviously they've ripped off Star Wars, but I'm talking about I
mean, it's not the trench. I mean, it was popular, of course. They were going that way.
I would say it'd be sketchy, particularly given that Disney owns Star Wars now, and
this is what that's what I was
aggressive,
right?
So possibly,
yeah. That's the only concern I have about a new Star Strike. I'd love to play a new Star Strike, but are they going to be like, well, since it's publicly known that the original Star Strike was supposed to be Star Wars and has elements based on Star Wars, and you're going to release a new game based on that game, which is based on what our properties are, then checkmate, that kind of thing.
Dude, I would love to see a Last Starfighter.
Last Starfighter,
so good. I love that movie.
Yes. Last Starfighter. You know what was funny about that movie is the sidekick guy who's like, ooh, goof, alien guy who's like, ooh, you know who I'm talking about. That's the old man from RoboCop. That's the old guy in charge of.
Really?
Yeah, it's the same guy. I discovered this a couple of years ago, and my mind was like,
yeah, I never would have put those two together. But that reminds me of the guy that played Commissioner Gordon in the last Batman movies. He was the main villain in Fifth Element too, and I would not have put him in that role until
you're talking
years
about
later.
Gary Oldman?
Gary Oldman, yeah,
Gary
and
Oldman.
I'm like, dude, he's like a freaking chameleon in some of his roles. He just sort of like disappears, and you have no idea it's him until you go to like IMDb, and you're like, what?
Dude, the first big movie I saw with him was JFK, and he was playing Lee Harvey Oswald, and he did such a good job that there was like this controversy. People were like, where did they get this footage of Lee Harvey Oswald? Like, no, that's an actor. People like
Gary, that's somebody who can actually act. I know you're not used to this in this modern day, but
Mullis is like, what are you guys talking about, Cyrus? He's just like, what's happening on this show? This is
we're talking about nothing. This is a show about nothing.
I would
basically this is a Seinfeld episode. Hi.
Buck Rogers would be cool. I want to be Twiggy, and as long
People
as I can
don't
go,
even
I
remember.
just want to go. Yeah, I know.
I
don't
remember
remember
Buck
Buck
Rogers a
Rogers.
little bit. I remember
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica more because I have the DVD set, and I actually thought the original show was better than the remake they did on Sci-Fi.
Ooh, Fifth Element movies. How about a Fifth Element Amico game?
Or
Star Strike.
Not sure how
the
you'd
Fifth
work
Element.
that one.
the sixth element. Do the sixth element.
Yeah, there you go.
He's talking about the main guy that was training the guy who won the contest on the arcade machine.
Okay, the guy that I was referring to,
Oh,
the alien buddy in the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
Starfighter,
yeah.
who's like, "Ooh," kind of goofy, is the same actor that was the old man in charge of the big company, everything in RoboCop. And
I'm just gonna look up Last Starfighter because it's not gonna make any sense to him. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's also in like.
Ooh, how about a Knight Rider game? Sorry,
no, a Knight Rider game. Yeah, come on now, come on.
That actually, I say do a triple threat, or how can we do this?
You got to
do a movie car one where you have like the A-Team van, the Knight Rider car, the Ecto one, the General Lee, and you have them all.
There you go.
Do stunts.
It might be expensive to get
Sign me up. I'll create it.
The licensing might be a problem. I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah, that's a lot of license. We're just gonna borrow those. No, they won't.
I believe the character's name is Grig, Grig.
Ah, okay.
I'm looking for images. That way it'll be easier for you guys to like just show people.
Yeah, you know what's up, John. He saw The Professional, Leon. Yeah.
Oh, The Professional is an excellent movie.
Gary Oldman is awesome in everything he's ever done.
Nitro Derby All-Stars. Hey, ooh. Maybe there'll be some, I don't know, what do you call it, like a cheat code you can get movie cars to come up. I mean, don't have to say nothing now, but.
Maybe they could like slightly change them to make them like sort of like, how like NBA Jam had to do some stuff to, instead of the General Lee, it's the Colonel.
Yeah.
Custer.
Colonel Sanders, no.
Colonel Sanders.
The Popcorn Lee or something.
You couldn't call it the Colonel Sanders. But yeah.
Now that you've called that out, Si, I look at the face of Greg from Last Starfighter and I totally see it now.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't notice it before. It's so obvious.
I knew I was always aware that I knew him from something, but I could never figure out what it was. And then I looked it up, and I was just like...
I sent you a link to an image, by the way, Chuck, just in case people are still confused.
That old guy was in a bunch of good movies.
Oh, he was like the lizard guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Hold on. Let me see if I can share this here. I know I can. You know me. I
was jamming out for a second there.
I've got a copy of this movie somewhere. I need to find this and watch this again.
So it's that guy there. He's a lizard creature. Do not to be trusted because he is some of the reptilians.
No, he was a good guy. He's a good guy.
Was a good guy.
I mean, he's a fantastic guy, and you should always trust him. He is loving.
You are racist. You are racist, sir. How dare you?
Oh, man. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, multiplayer A-Team. Oh, dude. Okay, here we go. Luke Skywalker's got it right here. What about a Kentucky Derby All-Stars?
Yeah, like
we're gonna bring out all the haters now, aren't we?
Well, typically jockeys are shorter, so we have to take all the short people from our community and put them on the horses. So
me,
you, John, Tommy, who else?
Tommy would do much better than him. I weigh too much to be an actual horse jockey. Now, Tommy would be brilliant at it, I feel like.
Yeah, all the jockeys have to have a likeness of Tommy. Right?
He wins. Always wins, though. Tommy can't be.
You'll render the shirts different colors. One will be Ferrari red. One will be Ferrari yellow. One will be for. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna have a Tommy for every day of the week that he has a Ferrari that's a different color.
Where's Saggy and Panda sub? Why aren't they on the panel? Well, Panda is fighting some space battle right now. in space.
Yeah, and a space cold, which is much rougher than a regular cold.
Space cold. And Saggy is planting cantaloupes in her garden.
Of course.
Sure, we'll go with that.
She's got to grow the melons.
No, I bet she's playing, what's that game she always likes?
Apex Legends.
She's playing Apex Legends. There we go.
Or what's that? Among Us. Among Us.
Yeah, I don't think she does that one quite as much anymore. But yeah.
So, but yeah, no, Star Strike is, and a lot of people don't realize that you have to, the way to play that game, people look at it, and even as a kid, like I went over to my sister's, and her and my brother-in-law had it, and they were like, oh, we can't figure this one out. But you literally, which a lot of us do, we don't read the manual. We just pick it up and go, well, this is stupid. But you have to bomb, just for people, I know we know, but you have to bomb all 6 bombs or deactivate them, I guess. Basically the targets, you got to bomb them. And at the 6th one, you know, the space station gets destroyed. You blow up that space station.
That small moon.
Yeah, that's no moon.
Is the port like 1 meter wide?
I'm not going to say, but
it's just like Beggar's Canyon back home.
But
there are wolf rats in them there ports.
I never said that. No, but I think if they remade it, do it in the style of like the Cloudy Mountain and Night Stalker, which have that kind of old school reimagined look. You're like, I love that style, but keep those green and what are they? Green and dark green stripes or green and blue.
Yeah.
So really keep it like on that like horrendous looking colors that they had on there. And make it go from there, you know, and have like some crazy planets, and you have it to where you have to save all different planets in the solar system before they come in. And if you save that galaxy, you move on to the next level and that solar system.
I totally agree with you, Chuck. And let me give this a little more attention. I am totally in favor of bringing back an old school Intellivision game and keeping all of the aesthetic, but instead of it being 2D, you know, graphics, it's 3D polygons, but you see it from the same perspective that you did on the old Intellivision.
I'm down.
It's like, that's what dude, yes, I am totally on board with that.
See, what I'd like to see them add in as well is, because a lot of those games were sort of like wireframe, like the old Vector graphics kind of look. If you could flip it to more of a wireframe look too, to kind of get that more retro feel, that would be kind of dope. Yeah,
dude, there's so many possibilities like that you could implement, you know. And you know, we've seen some of the reimagined stuff that they've done already kind of do this sort of thing, like Breakout, you know, kind of has this kind of thing going on where it keeps the aesthetic, but it makes it like this.
Mm-hmm.
That CRT look is what makes get the game so sweet looking, though.
Yeah,
so bend on the tube and it just looks so.
It's
cool.
Badass. That is a badass. I really want to play it on the Amico. I think
that's the game I'm looking the most forward to on the Amicos. I really want to play that with the actual Amico controller.
Yeah,
and see how it feels. Because I've only played with like mouse and keyboard right now, because that's where the demo was.
Yeah, we played the crap out of that demo. Like we did like.
Oh yeah, we played that a ton. I love that demo.
Me and John had like a little competition or whatever.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Remember that. We need to set something like that up again when the console actually comes out.
Oh yeah,
where you can kind of do like head to head on streams and stuff. I think that would be fun, because you can't actually live compete, but you could put it on like a stream where people can see like both screens and stuff like that. I think that would be fun.
I think that we can find a way.
Yeah, there's got to be a way to be able to do that.
I want to answer this just really quick. Something happened between Rich, Review Tech, and Tommy. He's trashing like the whole Amico fans, and he's trashing Tommy, and he's reviewing Pat and Ian's diatribe about the Atari Age thing, which we already discussed. It's not. They're just grasping anything Amico or anything to do with this community. They like to trash and get a bunch of views. And I guess that's what large YouTubers do. They like to talk down to fans like us and smaller YouTubers. And of course, trash Tommy. It's the popular thing to do. But yeah, nothing big. The Atari Age forum was shut down. There was a bunch of trolls, a lot of hate, and a lot of stuff going back and forth. If you want to join a great group for Amico right now, you can go to Amico Television Amico Club on Facebook. But yeah, they're just being jerks.
I think part of that just comes down to is Rich is very good at like reading which way the wind is blowing, and he wasn't enough into the console to really want to support it hardcore anyway.
Yeah.
So he kind of went on the side that was kind of like going to help his channel a little bit more than the opposing side, since he wasn't a huge advocate of it in the first place. And he has every right to do that. It's his channel. It's his money. He pays his mortgage. It literally pays his mortgage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do when he feels it's right for his channel. So
that's true. And yeah, no, he did not play it, and he won't. So yeah, once again, people that play it, trash it. It's stupid. Yeah, here we go. DJC, when you get sponsorships like Apex Legends and Manscaped. Well, I think Saggy would get an Apex Legends thing before I do, but I would do Manscaped. I don't think I'd manscape. Well, maybe I'd try manscaping. I don't know.
I don't think you have to actually manscape.
Or maybe I would. Maybe I could
manscaping
for my facial hair.
I think it's been well proven.
Buzzing down anywhere else.
Yeah, I think it's been well proven on YouTube that you don't actually have to like really support and use a product to have a product.
Did you ever see?
You don't have to play a product to trash it.
Oh my
just
god!
Just like that too.
Okay, all right.
So
all right.
There's that.
Did y'all ever, when Norm Macdonald was alive, did y'all ever watch when he would do like sponsor stuff on his show that he had?
Now, I'll be honest, I skipped a lot of Norm Macdonald stuff. He had some stuff that resonated with me, but a lot of his stuff was just not for me. So I just never gravitated towards him.
That sucks. I understand. He's got a specific flavor, and not everybody likes the same flavors, right? But he used to like lose every sponsor because like he would do a sponsored ad, and in the process of doing it, destroy the relationship with the sponsors. He did it with every one of them that he had. It was hilarious.
Yeah, so that actually sounds like a solid bit. I'll give you that. I actually said solid. I've seen other people do that before too. I think John Oliver's done something like that, and a couple other people have done it. Probably, I'd say, well after Norm Macdonald did it. But I've seen that bit
Norm
before.
was the best, dude. Norm was the GOAT.
If you were into that style of humor, Norm was the best. But
yeah.
Not everybody.
Some people got mad.
Yeah.
Well, I never got mad at it. I just didn't. I wasn't catching the humor. He didn't hit my funny bone. You know what I mean? Like some people you watch and you go, I'm not offended, but I'm also not laughing. So if I'm not laughing and he's a stand-up comedian, why am I watching this? And you just gravitate away from it, right?
And see, that's the thing, though, and I totally understand what you're saying, Nick, because that was part of his humor. Was he was deliberately trying to tank. Like he was trying to give you the opposite of what you wanted and the opposite of what you expected at any given moment. Most comedians, like stand-up comics, big ones, they all said that Norm was their favorite comic, and it's because he was like a comedian's comedian. Like he was like trying to do the anti-comedy.
Oh, he was very unique in his approach.
Yeah,
I will always give Norm that. His approach was completely different than pretty much everybody I've seen. And everybody had their own style. Like George Carlin was very much like a social commentary comedian. And if you didn't like that, you wouldn't like George Carlin. I found him hysterical.
See, that's what I'm saying. So everybody has a different taste. And our tastes change throughout our life too. You might not like George Carlin when you're young. You might like him later when you're older. Same thing with whoever,
Right.
Like when I was a kid, Gallagher was the funniest guy in the world.
I still find Gallagher pretty funny, but yeah, I don't think he would age as well with me as say like George Carlin or maybe even Norm Macdonald, for example, right? Like King of the Hill, when I first watched King of the Hill, I didn't like it. As I watched it as I got older, I go, okay, now I get where these are coming from. This is way funnier than I remember it being.
So this is a cool thing. I really hope this is real because this sounds like it. My dad and I's favorite game to play together was Intellivision horse racing. And for my birthday, Tommy told me since my dad passed, they named a jockey a horse track after my dad.
That'd be dope.
Oh wow! Well, you know what?
He's done that before because I know we have some names in a game. So
we do.
That sounds like a really cool Tommy story.
Dude, I want to see, and I'm patient. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I need to see this now, but I really am looking forward to seeing whatever is going to happen with the new horse racing, because I didn't even realize they were making a new horse racing until after I did my old school horse racing bit, and people started telling me, no, there's a new one. He's making a new one. I'm like, really? Yeah, I never talked to him about it. When did this happen?
I would not be surprised that if this system does well enough that Tommy would not try to make most of the original 125 again in some respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If nothing, it's just for the retro crowd. I mean, if the system's doing well enough, he could afford to do that. If it's not, then, he's going to go to whatever's going to bring them the most profit and try to keep them afloat, obviously, right? Whatever's most popular in the system.
It's one of those games I hadn't heard about. I'm not trying to be like, one of the biggest problems that I think we have in our community is we're always wanting more. You know what I mean? And there's already so much on the table. There's so many games.
I know, right?
I'm like, let the guy get the thing out, and then we'll, I'll start.
No, I've been a big advocate for a while of like, dude, just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Get done what you've got here, and then jot these down as ideas later so you don't forget about them. But even early on, like I want to say like a year or two ago, I could see his eyes light up and go, oh, that's a great idea. And I'm like, crap. Because I felt bad because I knew he was going to go out and try to do it.
Yeah. He's got this energy of, oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just go. Let's make it happen. And if you give him if you start telling them and other people are saying, hey, this sounds like a good idea, then he's already interested anyway, because he's a huge Intellivision fan. So he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And so he's got all these other things that are they're lined up to come out. And it's like, guys, let's get this thing out. And then let's have that conversation about all this other stuff. But yeah, that's just something that I try not to do. I try not to get like, well, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? It's like, let's calm down a little bit. Let's get this thing going, and hopefully, I mean, according to what we've been told, it's entering production.
Yeah. So, they were starting production. That doesn't mean we're going to have it like say before Christmas, but I would say, first quarter's a good bet. First quarter of next year.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so. I hope so. I know that it's complicated. There's a lot of, spinning plates, and a lot of unfortunate circumstances. So I'm patient. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna get my Amico when it comes out, whenever that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not one of those people who's like, just like, oh, it's got to happen. Like if
everything's delayed. Play dates were delayed. The Polymega was delayed.
Steam Deck.
It's gonna happen.
I think you should call it the pay date. I think that works, Chuck. The pay date.
I kind of like
but
that.
I'm
name,
not a fan of the pay date, so I'm going to just go in everyone's streams and.
Now is that the play date with the adult rated games? I feel like
no, that the pay date is the one you shill for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was confused. Even the Steam Deck's been delayed.
I know.
Right. It got delayed a couple months.
Because
people were supposed to start getting those like this month.
Yeah, I've got one
even starting to ship until like February.
Yeah, I've got one reserved, and I do
too.
I actually was okay with the delay because I'm like, okay, give me a little more time to figure that out. That's cool,
Yeah, I mean, even though I don't think it. Like, everybody's looking at it like it's going to replace, like, everything. It's going to destroy the Switch. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. I'm like, dude, I just want something to play some of my Steam library on the go so I can take it to my buddy's house and show him some of these fighting games I have. That's all I want it for, man. Yeah. Like, I'm not expecting it to, like people were talking about, like, it's going to cure world hunger. I'm like, dude, it's a console.
That would be something, though. It's not, you know what, Nick? It's not going to cure world hunger with that attitude.
Well, okay, that's fair.
So does the Analog Pocket do turbo graphics?
Huh?
Does the Analog Pocket do turbo graphics?
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned this.
I think it does.
The Analog Pocket has been delayed, and we have just completely not heard jack crap about this Analog Duo.
That thing's been delayed like a million times, hasn't it?
The Analog Pocket?
Yeah, I thought that thing had been delayed like 4 times already.
I'm not sure. But I can tell you this: we haven't even heard about the duo, the analog duo.
Yeah, because
Yeah, that's the one I want to get because I got my duo.
I would love to have the duo.
I have the Duo R, but like I want to get the analog duo. And
honestly, I want to get
Drive will work.
I do want to get one too. I want to get. You don't. Okay, the analog duo will probably let you sideload, so you probably won't even need an EverDrive. So, I'm just saying, all the other analog consoles let you sideload. So
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but we haven't heard jack crap, dude. Like, it's been how long? Like over a year?
It's been a long time. Yeah. I mean, almost since I've known you, Si, we've been talking about the analog pocket and the analog duo. And I've not heard anything about any of them moving anywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah, the only thing that came out was the this what Pong Show said, the Evercade. Well, it's not completely out though. People are still waiting.
Oh, but did you hear
a shipping issue? But they're starting to get it.
Did you hear that those games that aren't supported on the Evercade Versus are being killed? Like those Namco games, they're going to stop production.
We're just going to stop production on them.
I didn't get the first one, but I got the second one, which is the harder one.
I may have to pick those up then because I was actually thinking about getting the handheld as a companion to the Versus, but I was going to wait to get my Versus first.
Everybody that I've talked to has been expecting, oh, don't worry, eventually they'll make those games compatible and da 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 da. And it looks like
it was a licensing issue, though. I didn't think it was a cartridge issue.
They want you to license them for each format.
I think it is a licensing issue, but I think it's a permanent licensing issue. I think whatever the circumstances are, Evercade has just decided, all right, we're out.
We're not going to try to renew this license. You want too much for it now or something?
The pocket shipping in a few days. They must have updated their.
Oh, cool.
Really? In a few days? That'll be really.
I don't know. I need to look at that thing again and see if that's going to become like a mainstay thing.
I know a lot of.
I might pick one of those. Doesn't it do like Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and
Game Gear, Atari Lynx? I think maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, Jan, I'm thinking first, like springtime. I'm thinking, and they're supposed to let us know by end of year, like what a ship date will be or when they're going to be, close to, that's the next. But like we know as much as you, unfortunately, it's just kind of waiting. But yeah, I guess I would think if they're in production, it's gonna be sometime maybe later in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I would say late first quarter, at best, is what I would guess since they're doing production because anything can happen, and I wouldn't want to try to say, oh no, like January.
Oh, it said it's on their Twitter, so we'll have to look at that. Yeah. So what is the analog pocket? What does that have on it? Does it have different modules or different cards, or
there's different adapters that I think they're bringing out separately?
But then you could do like Hue cards in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because my whole thing is for a handheld. Obviously, a Turbo Express is running you. I don't even know what they're up to now. What, $600 or $700?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I would love
see. That's what I would want it for is more TurboGrafx because I find a lot of the TurboGrafx stuff does not emulate well. And
there are issues with.
Yeah, there's not a lot of accessibility for those games.
Even the Turbo
in other mediums to buy them and play them. So. The analog pocket seems like the way to go. I just hope the Hue cards wouldn't be too insanely expensive for it. That would be my big concern.
Well, for the analog duo is really your solution for TurboGrafx, but we haven't heard Jack. And I know he was saying in the chat a second ago that analog is really good about the press, but we haven't heard anything about the duo. Like, I don't know what's going on with the duo.
Yeah, I put my name down for the duo, and I did it partially because I know you were looking to get one at one point, Zion. I'm like,
I actually would like to get one.
And I'm like, well, I'll throw my name in there too, and that'll like kind of double your odds, so to speak. If one of us comes up and the other one doesn't, that's fine. I'll get one.
It's
I can
only
send
two.
it to you and you can pay me back. Or if you get one and I get one, I'll just pick one up because I wouldn't mind getting more into the TurboGrafx library anyway.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You guys know
says the most recent Tommy announcement said the first 6,000 systems being made. I'd have to. I don't know. Where did you see that at? That'd be awesome.
That is my
Founders and VR.
Nice.
That is nothing but games.
Is that all your Turbo CDs?
Yeah.
And PC Engine. Nice.
They're all fake though. None of these are real.
I have a couple Hue cards with like the little switch that has 2 games on them.
Oh yeah.
I had like because
I would get
got,
like
Magical
retros. I
Chase.
wouldn't even go for like complete box stuff. I just want to play the games, man. I don't really care if they're like authentic. I just want to play the game.
Polymega is an interesting idea. Also, I know that a lot of people have different opinions about the Polymega, because it's kind of an expensive route to go in some ways. I don't know how good the emulation is on that.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. Polymega looks cool. I've always thought it looked cool.
The fact that you could load up your games on it, I think that's the real
Yeah,
thing.
I think my big thing with the Turbo
I
think my big thing with the Analog Duo was I think it was closer to like actual hardware.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more of a MiSTer configuration, right?
Cool. It's FPGA. Yeah, it's
FPGA. So
the great thing about the Analog Duo is it will do all the turbo chips, PC Engine hue cards, all the PC Engine CD formats,
Super Graphics, the 5 games,
Super
Graphics. Yeah.
It'll even let you use real controllers. It'll even let you use the real PC Engine
and
Turbo Duo controllers,
and the probably the 5 tap too, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
see that to me, if you're like if you just want TurboGrafx, that seems like a much better solution.
It's an ultimate solution.
Polymega is fantastic if you want to do emulation and you want a unit that will take some of like your physical games and load them up and let you do it that way, so you can preserve your games. It's a great system for that. I'm not going to knock it. I think it's a little pricey.
Yeah,
and that's because the main base unit I think is somewhere around $400. The extra units, I want to say the last time I looked, were close to $200 a piece. It can get like almost as much as a high-end gaming PC very fast, depending on what you want to do.
And the Analog Duo is what, $199 or $299?
It's $199.
Oh, that's a killer price.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you're gonna pay way more for that for a Duo that's probably either needs to be capped every 10 years or it's just gonna fail on you. So like my drive this is the second time my drive and my Duo R has failed. And I'm like, I look at the Analog Duo and I'm like, well, I can put my Duo R on the shelf or fix it and put it on the shelf and then use the Analog Duo for everything, when I want to play. If it emulates and plays the games.
Well, I was going to say another problem with trying to use the Polymega is you can't use EverDrives. Okay, like yeah. So like the Analog Duo, you could use your Turbo EverDrive on that, no problem. But on the Polymega, it won't let you use any EverDrives. So you have to actually. You got to own all the cards. Like the CDs, that's fine. You can use burned CDs. That's fine. But like the cartridges, that's the problem with the Polymega. Yeah, because it doesn't let you sideload unless there's some crack to it that I don't know about.
So Luke Skywalker says the 6,000 Amico number comes from the Fundable site, says that over 6,000 units were sold for pre-order. I'm pretty sure, and that's awesome if that does happen. But like I said, I was thinking it would only be the Founders first. That would be shipped first.
I must be missing something. What are we talking about? 6,000?
I guess on the Fundable site it says that 6,000 were pre-ordered, and that he was saying that might be the first shipment would be all 6,000. That could be true. I'm not sure. I originally thought it would just be the 2,600 Founders, and then it would go to VIP after that. And then it would be, everyone else. And then
like general pre-orders. I would think that would be the order. Yeah.
Well, okay. So.
Oh, the extra units are only 80. Oh, that's way better than I thought.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Pre-order is a confusing thing for me to understand, really. I don't really care that much about this in the first place, but like, since the numbers brought up, are we including like all the pre-orders on the website and then through GameStop and then through all the different like Best Buy and all the different places that have pre-orders? I
kind of doubt it because it doesn't sound right with the numbers that I heard from Tommy at one point. Now that's been a while.
That's why I was confused. I was like, what do you mean 6,000 fundables from Fundable? Is that just from, I don't know. What is Fundable? I don't really know what that is.
It's like a, like an investment or a pre-order. I think it was a pre-order thing. I wonder if Tommy let the naysayers try out the console.
To
Absolutely.
answer this one,
wants
anybody that can make it to one of these events can try the console.
But he's even, like
everybody's welcome.
And people that were local to Intellivision too, in the LA area or Orange County area or wherever they're at now. But and they just won't. Rich and Pat and Ian are perfect examples. So they'd rather take the views. And I don't really want to keep going on that, but they'd rather take the views and the drama on their channel than to actually try it out and actually like it or think it's cool.
Well, I don't know what all is going on with everybody. If people have motivations, and I don't keep up with everything. Right, but I can tell you this. In Pennsylvania, when we did the event at Crayola, how many people do you think came in and out of that? Like, how many people do you think played the Amico at that? Because
we probably had well over 300-400 people.
300 or 400 people, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of people in and out of there during the day, and some people stuck around a lot. Yeah. Like I saw some people there for like an hour just playing the thing constantly, trying out different games.
Now, I'm not talking about our people who showed up at John's.
These were the ones I'm talking about that stayed up there for like an hour or more playing. I mean, some of those were like us, obviously, but more often than not, I was deliberately looking for people that weren't us to film. And I saw people there for a long time that probably knew nothing about the console. They seemed surprised that there was a console at the Crayola event, and then they started playing it and just had a blast.
Yeah, so there was a lot of people that came through that area and their kids, so many kids playing that thing. And I wasn't watching the whole time. I was having conversations with people, so I didn't see everybody. But there was a lot. There was several hundred. There was at least 300-400 people, and John and I even said that on my video, because that's about the number we all kind of had in our heads, just kind of from seeing that, from eyeballing it. There was a ton of people that came in and out of that.
So real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt. Who's supposed to keep track? You just sign up to the email. That's how I did. I don't have any knowledge of it until it comes out, and I made it to 2.
Yeah, so you can go to the Facebook group too. I think he announces it there.
But I mean, the email will blast.
You can sign up from the email on their website.
Yeah,
television.com, and you'll get it right away, just like the rest of us. Like, that's where we're getting the information from.
Yeah, this is not super secret, none more secret information, guys.
And if you show up to an event, you might see something cool that that we haven't seen on YouTube.
So do you think some people really think that like he's like hiding the event and then like having an event and then telling people about it later, or what is it?
I think the thing is a lot of people are thinking he's announcing the events too close to the event, so people don't have enough time to prepare.
So they don't have enough time to prepare.
I think part of that is Tommy and the crowd that Tommy's drawn. He's trying to avoid inviting organized drama to these things.
Well,
he'll announce it within like a week or so, or maybe 2, that people can make it cool. He's expecting mostly local people to go to these things, not people flying across the country.
Right. Which is interesting because when we did the Pennsylvania event, there was a concerted effort made quite a ways in advance to try to get some larger personalities from YouTube to check it out, to either go to the event or have a private event, which was offered.
I would love to see someone that just hates this, thinks it sucks, or doesn't, not for them. Just try it out. Because the worst thing I've seen come from a person that I think it was it the Crayola one? He came in there just ready to trash it and go, this is going to suck. It's going to have the lag and everything's going to not work. And he played it. He goes, you know what? It's still not for me, but everything was kind of a lie. It was pretty much a working console. I see the charm of it. So, but that was like the worst thing I got.
Yeah, the worst response I've seen from anybody that actually played this thing was, meh.
There seems to be like a lot of people getting really worked up because the internet is this feeding monster, right? Like you got to get more attention, so you get more salacious, and then you get more salacious, so you got to get more attention. You got to build your channel and get more, people to like care about what you're saying and be entertained. So you try to be more entertaining. Like there's like this, like it just keeps building and building and building, trying to make something out of nothing, right? Trying to stir the air until it becomes rain, and the fact is it's just a damn console. It's a simple little game.
That's the thing. You hit the nail on the head. That's the thing that kills me the most is like everybody's acting like they have to destroy this thing like it's the Antichrist coming or something like that.
I know, right?
Like, dude, it's a low-end video game console that's going to play some basic games that are based off score. It's playing like revamped versions of the games that we all started playing in like the 70s.
Right.
Like, at worst, this thing will come out and it'll fizzle. At best, it'll find an audience and people go, oh my God, now I remember the type of games that I had fun with when I was a kid. This is so much more fun than the crap that's gotten overly complicated. Because, I mean, the more you look at modern games and the more you look at games from a historical standpoint and as they progressed, the one thing you'll realize is the reason we have 16 button controllers is because nobody can freaking decide on a simple mechanism to play a damn game anymore. So you need like 20 damn buttons to do anything in a game anymore. Really don't. There's been plenty of games not only on phones, but on consoles and everyone's. And as much as everybody fucking laughs at Nintendo, they still managed to make Mario work with about 2 damn buttons.
Well, so unless you talk about their recently emulated Nintendo 64 titles, in which case they seem to have had some problems getting that.
I think most of that's actually kind of cleared up. I've seen plenty of people. I actually have seen plenty of people to put that to the test. I watched several streamers that bought the service and played it, and when
it's been improved. I'm glad it's been improved. I'm planning on getting another Switch eventually, so I hope so. I would.
Yeah,
hope
I mean, I'd heard the same things you had heard, and I'm like, okay, well, let's watch some people play it. And they're like, look, the latency on this isn't bad. The worst thing is the button mapping. Like, if you don't have the N64 controller, the mapping is a little weird because it's very similar to mapping it on a Pi, is my understanding, and that's the biggest hurdle. But the latency issue, apparently, for most people I talked to, they said it was a non-issue.
Hey, that's all I want to hear. Because I would love to get that N64 controller, and for when I do get a Switch, because that's a very convenient way to play. I love to play like Nintendo stuff on Nintendo stuff. You know what I mean? That's why that's why I really enjoyed having the Super Nintendo Classic and the NES Classic. Those were really, I mean, they weren't perfect, but it was real Nintendo stuff. Okay. So it didn't bother me as much because I'm like, okay, maybe the emulation's not perfect, but it's real Nintendo stuff. So I was cool with that. And as long as I can play my N64 titles or whatever emulated titles, and they play fine, then so what? I don't even care. I'm not even that sensitive to like input lag. So if it had an extra 2 or 3 frames or whatever, I don't really care. It's like, okay, as long as I can play it and it's fine. I mean, anytime you play any of these old games on a modern TV, you're going to have a little bit of issue with that anyway.
Right.
So I don't really, it's not that big a deal to me.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started seeing stuff on Twitter, I mean, it was pretty bad. Like the latency was like really bad. But as I saw people playing it, like one guy was playing Mario Kart, SGR Unleashed went through like almost all the games on the service, and he's like, dude, I don't see it. Like this isn't a problem.
That's
so
great.
And so that sold it on me because I watched Dizzy JT Gaming and SGR Unleashed both do a live stream on it and play it, and they're like, I can't find a problem. This seems fine. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm sold. That's fine. I haven't bought it yet because I don't like the price point. Personally, I think it's a little expensive, but eventually I'm going to pick it up anyway because I'm a Nintendo fan.
So I'd like to make a point about what you just said. Okay, so I started that conversation right there with a preconceived notion about the input lag that I've heard about and the problems that I've heard about, and I was presenting it. And you, with new information, updated information, have told me, hey, these issues that you're concerned about, I think they've been addressed. So my reaction to that is good, because I'm a gamer who likes to play video games and cares about N64 titles and would like to play those on a Switch, right? That's a logical response to someone telling you, hey, that idea that you have in your head that's not actually true, here's the real information. Here's the new information. A logical response is, oh, cool, right?
Yeah. So is my reaction when people go literally show the latency on Twitter, and I go, "Oh, that looks terrible." To look at some people that I trust, that I know, that I've talked to on a regular basis, actually sit down and play the thing.
Yeah.
And watch them play it, and them go, "See," and watch the character jump and go, "Oh, okay." So I guess this is just drama bait. Then I'm good.
This is
There's another logical response to that. Do some research on it. Look some stuff up.
But to be fair, circumstances change, right? Information changes. There's updates. Things get fixed. At one point something might be bad, and then later, oh, it's better now, right? That happens. That just happened, right? With what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody bringing up something like that, I like to believe people are addressing their concerns because they care about something, not because they're just trying to muddy the water and stir a bunch of shit and make something look bad, because they're actually concerned about it. Not concerned trolling, concern, speaking, talking about their concerns. So, I don't know. All I'm trying to say is I think it's good to be able to hear something and understand, oh, it's new, it's different, it's changed, there's new information, that's good. Yeah. But also, when we hear somebody come to us with something that's outdated information or incomplete information or just wrong information, what we have to be able to do, it's frustrating for us because we hear it a lot.
Yeah.
But what we have to be able to do is say, hey, I don't know why. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out the why. The only thing I can do is say, hey, no, here's the right information, and then leave it at that, because I don't have the time or the brain power or the emotional fortitude to get into this never-ending cycle with people over and over and over about motivations. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't need to know. I'm not going to, why somebody believes what they say or says what they say or brings something to me. I don't know. That's all I was saying.
I like this right here. Haters complain the Amico's not powerful, but it could probably handle half of all the Switch games. I don't know how true that could be, but
I would say a lot of the indie titles it can handle because they don't require much.
Rigid Force played.
Yeah, Rigid Force is a good example.
But I'm saying the way it looked, handled, and played with everything on the screen was beautiful, and it reminded me of playing like a game on the Switch. So I know they're going for simple games, but they can do 3D games. They can do Switch style shooters and stuff like that. So I kind of agree with that. I don't think everything, but it's pretty close,
I would say a solid chunk of the library. I don't know if it'd be quite half, but you could play a decent amount of it, yeah. And a lot of the things on the Amico is really down to trying to keep price point down and trying to hit their target market, right? It's a two-factor thing. It's not that it can't do things that are a little bit more complicated. I mean, sure, there's going to be hardware limitations before you can run into full-on hardware limitations on, say, the latest revision of the Switch or a PlayStation 4 or something like that. But
what does that mean?
Well, what I mean is
no. I mean, I'm the comment. I'm sorry, Nick.
The Switch handles Breath of the Wild fine. I don't know what you're smoking.
I have it on my Wii U. It plays fine on my Wii U. It plays
great on the Switch too. It actually looks a little cleaner on the Switch.
Oh yeah, it's
I've never played it, so I don't even know. It
runs great on it when it first came
great
out.
On both. I was impressed with how it ran on the Wii U, quite frankly.
It's okay on the Wii U, but it runs twice the frame rate on the Switch and at a higher resolution on the Switch. When it first came out, when it very, very first came out, the Switch version had some hiccups. And then they patched that in the first 3 weeks or something. And
What? This comment makes no sense. You cannot get a Nintendo game unless you're pirating it and trying to emulate on the PC.
I don't know. This is beyond my.
So what are you
Are you talking about playing the Wii U version on the PC through an emulator? Because you can't play the Switch version through an emulator on the PC.
Well,
I don't think is there a Switch emulator? I didn't think they had done one yet.
I don't know.
Well, let's reel it back into these space games, anyways. I don't know why we got into the friggin'.
I don't know, dude. I'm getting confused. As far as Shondell and his Atari VCS thing, I saw a kit for $279 on GameStop that I almost bought on the VCS. So I've been kind of tempted to dip my toe into that now that it's sub $400.
Talking into
I didn't want to pay full $400 for it.
Switch
It
or
wasn't
Switch
worth that
emulation.
to me.
Well, then you're pirating the game if you're playing the Switch on your computer. Because if you're playing the Wii U version, you might have the disc. But if you're playing the Switch version, you're pirating that.
Yeah, there's a
That's a modern. That's a current.
Okay, so
console.
there is a Switch emulator now. Okay, cool.
Look.
I hadn't kept up with modern emulators because I have
Here,
those consoles
Benny's got
and
a
I
good
don't need
idea.
them.
I'm totally.
Amico.
I'm totally in favor of emulation. It's cool. I'm totally in favor of using ROMs and Everett drives and stuff. But there's a difference between an older defunct console and a current gen console. If you're pirating current software, that's I can't support that. That's not cool. That's how
Speaking of older and current software, so another space game I want to talk about was a Space Battle, because the original one was going to be Battlestar Galactica, if you remember that. No.
What?
I said the original one was supposed to be Battlestar Galactica, the original base space battle on Intellivision. Like, it was even packaged as that.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I'll show you. I think I might have did this before, but I'm gonna.
Perhaps not even there.
Oh, hang on. What do we got?
This is the gnocchi I told you about.
What does it look like? Let me see.
It's pasta, dude.
Get it closer.
It's a potato-based pasta. I don't know if you can even see this, but it's a potato-based pasta. I don't know if you can actually see that or not.
Oh, look at that potato-based pasta.
I mean, it's tasty. It's got scallions on it, so it's looking blue with my background because of the green screen. There's Psy. Like, that's just disturbing, Psy. I'm just going to eat my food. You're freaking me out.
Sorry.
So remember Battlestar Galactica? It was on the first cartridge when they announced it in this little snippet.
Intellivision is a series of modularized hardware components and software that offer the consumer a choice of purchase options and benefits for now and in the years to come. The heart of Intellivision is the master component. Inside is a powerful 16-bit microprocessor, a full range of realistic sound effects including 3-part harmony music, a broad color palette, and an extraordinarily high level of resolution. The master component can be utilized cartridges. The opportunity to play a broad range of entertainment and game themes: sports, gambling, action, strategy, and children's learning fun. Each cartridge provides for strategic and tactical intensity, physical skill challenge, as well as true-to-life sights, sounds, and variability.
Do you see the Battlestar Galactica on that cartridge? How cool was that?
I did see that. I also saw the comments that Intellivision was the first 16-bit console.
Oh, which we're not going to argue, because I'll make a bunch of videos.
I totally expected Psy to just come at me like all enraged about the last Atari video. I'm like, oh God, here we go again.
How can a console have the same or more bits, but the graphics, gameplay aren't good? I think wasn't it more memory and processing power than it was graphical power? Is that
they had card limitations and they had a graphical processing thing on the CPU processing power doesn't match up to the GPU, which is why the NES with an 8-bit processor and a graphics side processor to handle more of the graphical upload was able to output more than the Intellivision was. And a lot of it was ROM, just straight up ROM limitations, because ROMs at the time, cartridges were very expensive to do for the Intellivision. So even if they could have done it, they probably wouldn't have done it because it would have made the games way too expensive.
Yeah, so because I always liked the way the Intellivision, like the menu select, like a person. Do you remember Chip Shot Super Pro Golf had a really intense menu and selection? You built your own golf course, like it had all the like, I guess not in game, but all the stuff to get to the game and all the options were. It reminded me of like a Genesis, you know, like where you go and you go and you got all these different options, you know, like, because they never really had options. It was just you saw the green screen, you press the button and it started, you know. So like that had that in a lot of the homebrews are like that too. You realize how much, if you want, you whatever call it, the 16-bit processing power, you really see that in in how the games operate and the menu selection options. Graphically, though, it was always those blocky, limitations. But I don't know, that to me, that's like, especially with all the homebrew games that are out, when there's more than the originals now, that is what makes it so fantastic. And that's why I love that they constantly are, because they basically have the limitations. They try to push those graphics. It's like a game like Princess Quest on the Evercade. They put that homebrew one on the Intellivision collection. And I thought that looked really sweet, man. Like if we had a side-scrolling adventure platforming game on the Intellivision back in the day, people would be like, Atari, what? Like that would have been it,
Yeah, Intellivision, I thought was insanely impressive.
Oh, that one too, man.
Chuck, you've got to stream that game. I need to see you play that.
I have to get my NTV modded, which I'm going to do. And I don't know why. Maybe after I get off stream tonight, I'm actually, so you heard it here first, folks. I'm going to go on eBay, get the mod kit with all the wires and everything. I got a soldering iron here. I'll get some solder, and I'm going to try. So I'm going to bust open the one that is behind here that the RF port's broken. So it's the one to mod. So now you just have to drill holes, mount the AV or whatever you want.
It sounds very scary to me, Chuck. I'm sorry.
But I watched it. It's only 3 solder points you got to do.
You don't understand. I've literally destroyed.
I don't do solder anyway, so I understand.
I've destroyed computers by opening them. Like I accidentally took a screwdriver and ran it across the motherboard and destroyed it. Oh, no. Yeah, I have a bad history. That's why I don't like to open things or do any modifications to anything because I suck. I
do too. I do too, and I'm going to attempt it. I will take. I don't know if I'll take. I guess I could probably set up and take some video of it. I don't see why we couldn't. What is this? Anyone tried a Mr. Beast burger? It's good, like $12 a piece.
What?
No, I haven't.
No.
Soldering will result in this game room going up in flame. It could.
I got a video.
I feel like soldering is fairly safe from like making your room spontaneously combust. But where there's a will, there's a way.
Chuck's like, in part 1 of my video,
I have a bunch of band-aids on my fingers, so it went a
missing
little
an eye.
Yeah.
It could have been worse though.
And I have a sling on one of my arms. Like, how did you do that? Well, it started falling.
In part 1 of my video, we're going to watch the room catch fire. Part 2, you can barely see because of
some
smoke.
solder, and it melted my brain on one side. Of all the lead.
It's not funny. It's not appropriate.
I got lead poisoning.
Hashtag side canceled. Cancel side. Sorry.
No, we have to get the claws out then. Let me get the
whoa.
Anyways. What was I had something on the tip of my tongue. I don't remember. Maybe
we're talking about claws, and then we're talking about the tip of your tongue. This is a kink I don't need to know you have.
There's a lot
that wasn't a kink I knew was a thing.
Yeah. Jaw hitting the floor, tip of the tongue.
It's just Kid Stranger. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did No Swear Gamer cross the line in comparing lag to on a TV plug-in with the Amico? Yeah, I don't know if it was crossing lines, but that was a stupid comparison. Because I just complain about the lag of my flashback all the time, anyways.
Dude, I'll be honest, and you guys can correct me, but I'd rather not talk about the non-existent input lag again. If you think there's lag, then you're welcome to your opinion. Play the system and then tell me there's lag, because nobody that I ever saw play the system said, "Oh my God, the lag on this controller is terrible." That never got uttered by anybody who actually played the system.
Yeah, as anything, they go, "Oh, that isn't true," and you're like, "Yeah, okay." Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's one of those topics that like
they've been bringing up. It's been beaten like a horse in horse racing.
There's
not true. Come on,
the dead horse is now dust. Yeah. There's nothing left, guys.
It's just like a pile of spaghetti. And
it doesn't matter. Like if I say something, you say something, whatever. Like people play the thing and they tell you what they think. I can't tell you. Like, if somebody thinks like they play Astro Smash and they think there's lag, then that's what they think. I haven't heard anybody say that, but doesn't mean that people don't. There might be people that think that. There might be people that. But see, here's the thing. If you're going to talk about and this is all I want to say about it. If you're going to talk about lag, you got to be like consistent, because like when we talk about like, remember we were talking a second ago about the Nintendo Switch and how there was this terrible lag on these emulated Nintendo 64 titles. That didn't mean there was lag on everything on the Switch. That meant that those Nintendo 64 titles had some lag, and it got fixed. So if somebody has a, like, for them, if they feel like a game is a little sluggish or has some lag or whatever, okay, that's how they feel or whatever. I don't, and if they're going to get into like, well, technically I took my camera and I went click, 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 click.
I took my camera and took a picture of my flashback running on a TV.
Yeah, I'm like,
YouTube video.
I'm like, dude,
person, for goodness gracious.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I think part of it comes down to player expectation and the reality of how a game plays. And let me clarify that a little bit. On Astro Smash, when you move and you stop pressing, you continue to move for a little bit. When you press, there's a little bit of ramp up when you move, and there's a little bit of slowdown when you stop moving. That could be perceived as lag. That's not lag. That's intentional design on how the ship moves. That's by design. That's not lag.
See, the thing is, I don't know if you remember a while back, there was like some Middle Eastern IGN or something that like did something about the controller.
I remember this, and they saw a little bit of lag, but it was a very early revision of the firmware that since has been updated.
Well, what I was going to say is what they were talking about, at least the part that I saw they were talking about, was they were saying there was lag on the screen on the controller itself. But my thing was, it was only for one thing that they noticed it. And that's what got me whenever people were talking about the Switch thing, because they were saying the menu had a different amount of lag than the game, and each game had a different amount of lag compared to each other game. So even in the same game, you got a different amount of lag if you're in the menus versus the game, and then each individual game. And I was like, that's interesting. So the lag changes based on what's happening with the coding of the game, right? Not based on the hardware itself, right? But that law doesn't apply to Amico, because if there's ever any lag, it means the entire Amico has lag. Yeah. I'm like, that doesn't. Why are we not being consistent here? You know,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and anyways, that's been debunked a million times. Like I said, you know, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, you got to put, because everybody's like gets mad when you say you got to put it in your hands. But I mean, really, like any system, like I can't go like before the PS5 came out. Was I going to be like, oh, man, am I going to do 10 videos about how I didn't like the way a game ran or how it felt or whatever? But I never held it in my hand. I mean, you really, no matter what system.
You know what? You guys
you can only say so much. You could say, I assume that looks like it has this or that, but if you play the system and be done with it, a few months, man, a few months.
The thing is, guys, you know, and guys in the chat, I'm sure you know this too. These kinds of like pissing contests, these kinds of like little, like I'm right and you're wrong and blah blah blah. Here's why and da da da. It's just this thing that's going on. It's this thing that's going on. So.
Yeah, because everybody wants to hop on the Amico train. Like we did it. We did it because we thought it was fun and we're Intellivision fans. Now people are doing it for drama clicks and to gain fans. But back to before we. Oh, speaking of back to, what is your favorite Christmas movie? Normally watching growing up. I want to ask this. I'm going to go into a little advertisement for a second.
Oh, me.
Both you guys.
Yeah, you
okay.
go.
Do you want to do the ad first, or do you want to come back?
That's why I want to ask, because this is usually what it is. So,
Nick,
for me, it's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, hands down. That's my absolute favorite one of all time.
What would be your, if you had to pick two, what would your other favorite one be?
I'm trying to think of the other one I watched the most, and it would be kind of, and I hate to say it this way, but it's kind of because I watched one during 2 seasons, either Nightmare Before Christmas or Elf. And Elf just because it's kind of way over the top and crazy, and Nightmare Before Christmas just because it's probably one of the most brilliant pieces of stop motion film I've ever seen.
Yeah,
freaking great,
it's pretty cool.
Sai, what about you?
Well, I think if we go back to when I was a little kid, I would say A Christmas Story. You know,
That's what I wanted to hear. But I'll tell you why in a second.
I love that damn movie.
Yeah. And what else besides that? Like
it's gonna sound really stupid.
No. It's
Ernest Saves Christmas.
Oh, okay.
I think I've watched that one once, and it was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Ernest Saves Christmas.
Pretty funny.
There's never a bad Ernest movie. It's Ernest.
That movie's hilarious. I do Ernest. Ernest does the Ernest does this. He's from where I'm from, by the way. He's from the same area, so there's a similarity in the way we speak. At least we, God rest his soul. But there's this character he does in that movie and other movies where he's got all these snakes and he's trying to bring them into this movie set, and he goes, "That's all these movie people want is snakes." He does that whole thing. You remember that? Like the whole thing he does?
I have to I'm gonna watch that actually probably tonight now. I wanna watch it.
I need to find a copy of that one because I haven't watched that one save the one time. And I was never a big Ernest fan when he was in when he was really doing those runs of all movies. But I've since kind of grown an appreciation for his humor.
Nick, do you deliberately take the opposite stance of everything that I enjoy?
Did I not just say I've grown an appreciation for his humor?
Hashtag canceled. I'm putting it in the chat.
Well, anyway,
everybody's been trying to cancel me since I started my channel, so that's fine. This is not news. This is just Tuesday.
The reason I'm saying this, all right. The reason I'm saying this, I'll bring it right back on the tracks.
Dude, there's so many good suggestions here in the chat, and I love almost every single one of these movies. I was not as big on Christmas Story. My wife loves that one.
Well, Christmas Story is the one, obviously, in how do
I want to see 8-Bit Christmas.
Was talking about that's the one where that's a great movie too.
I haven't seen it yet. It's on HBO Max, and I'm like, I want to watch it.
Where he shoots his eye out, the Christmas Story.
Oh, yeah.
One great character in there is Randy, the little brother, which gets bundled up and he can't put his arms down, and he keeps coming back up.
Yeah.
And also, he's the one that eats the mashed potatoes, and he's like, "Eat it like a piggy." And he's like, so the guy that Ian Petrella plays that character. The Gamers Realm, Gamers with a Z, Gamers Realm show out here on YouTube this Friday, live Friday evening. I believe it's 7:30 Central, around that. Check their YouTube, but I'm going to be a guest on there while they're interviewing Ian Petrella from A Christmas Story, and I'm going to be a contestant in a mashed potatoes eating contest. That's right, you heard it first here. DJC on the Gamers Realm channel here on YouTube live this Friday. So I want all you guys to tune in and cheer me on as I gorge myself with mashed potatoes, just like the kid Randy on The Christmas Story, with the kid Randy from The Christmas Story. But he's not a kid now.
Have you been training for this?
I have not. I've been training my whole life. So
I was waiting for that response.
But it's going to be awesome. So please check that out. I wanted to say that now before we.
That's badass, dude.
So it's going to be fun.
I'm honored that the Gamers Realm guys have asked me to do this, and that's awesome, dude. So I've
never hung out with those guys. I probably should, but
I was
I've just never been over there hanging out.
I was interviewed on there about the music a couple months back, and it's awesome, man. But I wanted to bring this crowd over and have them come in the chat and have a good time. So I was like, what better way to do a Christmas show? Wow.
Make sure you do a video to promote it. Like,
I did. I mentioned it. I mentioned it last week. I'm going to.
No, just do like a little 30-second, like
me throwing mashed potatoes at my face.
Well, you don't have
eating some meatloaf.
I'm just saying to let people, like anybody, see that specifically. Hey, come check this out. We're going to be doing this kind of thing, because that's really cool, dude. Like I love that. Can you do sling blade taters voice? Yeah, yep. Them French fried taters.
That reminds me. I don't know what time this is, but I want to pimp a buddy of mine's channel because he's doing something cool this Sunday.
Yeah, let's hear it.
This Sunday he's doing a live stream, and it's to basically do a charity raise for Toys for Tots. And what he's doing is he's raising money to basically buy a bunch of kids in the local area, hand it over to Toys for Tots, and he's got a deal with another company that for every toy he buys, they will buy an equivalent toy. So if you guys could go there, hang out, show him support, even just giving him like $2, $5, that kind of thing, I'm going to go ahead and put the channel here in chat.
Yes.
His name's Zombie GLT1. He's a really nice guy. He does this every year, so I would like to see a nice turnout for him, so that we can like get some, toys in the hands of kids for Christmas.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, because I definitely donate to it. We have a local, few places here that have the donation areas that when I always go and buy a few toys and do that. So that's awesome cause, man. So very cool.
Oh yeah, very good, very good.
Well, speaking of hitting the hay, I don't know if I'm going to hit the hay. I'm not a horse.
Later, Luke.
But anyways, take care, Luke. Thanks for stopping in. I'm going to call it time of stream death. 11:03 p.m. Eastern. I'd like to thank everyone in chat. It was fun. Boy, we talked about a lot of crazy stuff today, from beating horses to.
I feel like we didn't touch a lot of Amico today. It was a fun stream. And
Yeah,
I wanted to get more into space games, but
Chuck was talking about.
There's a lot of tangents that were just coming along. A lot of different timelines were created today, I think. But I want to thank everyone in chat. I really want to thank Cyrus and Geeks with Cash, Nick here for coming on. It was fun. It was fun. I know we were a little thin this week. We just had a couple off, and I mean, I'm not very thin in general, but anyways, yes. Oh my God. Thank you, Dusty. Yes, I do got to, I'm going to click on right when I'm done here and order that because
Godspeed, sir. Godspeed.
Yeah, I do need to do that. And that being said, check out Friday and then check out the link that Geeks with Cash just put in the chat.
Yes.
That's an awesome cause. And that'll
probably be sometime Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. Like I said, I don't know a time. Just sub to the channel, check it out on Sunday, set some notifications up or something like that. So hopefully when it goes live, you guys can catch it. I'll try to do a notification. I'll try to do a video probably Friday, reiterating it. And if I can, when he goes live on Sunday, I may try to do like a 30-second, hey, he's live, pop on kind of thing and put a link in the description if I can remember to do that. But it's for such a good cause. Yeah. So
before we go, what are those noodles again? I can't remember.
Gnocchi. Gnocchi.
Gnoc. Okay.
All right. I don't know why I had to do that on live on air, but okay. Hey, you know what? Now everybody knows the name of the
I was talking about toys for tots, and awesome. Now we're on a gnocchi. Welcome to Amico Forever, everybody.
Hold on. What color are the pants you're wearing?
Oh.
Blue? Okay. Okay, now
pants.
Oh,
pants.
You guys are wearing pants.
No one stand up. Nobody stand up. All right. But thank you so much, everyone. We will see you next week. I'll see you on Friday eating some mashed potatoes over at the Gamers Realm channel. And don't forget to click that link. We'll see you guys.
Yep. Mm-hmm.